Hi everybody and welcome to the day. We are going to build a lid for our box. So this is an optional part. You can do it if you want. You don't have to do it though, but it'll be fun. It'll make the box look amazing to have a lid for it. So to do this, we're going to basically build like a tiny little box, and we're going to call that the lid. That's exactly the same size as our box below. And then we're going to build a rim around the inside of that lid so that the rim can kind of fit into the box and hold it in place. So it's going to look great when it's done. All right, let's get started. So to do this, I want to first set up my parameters. And you can actually do this in the same file as the box. It's just going to be a whole bunch of stuff in one place. So I thought I'd break it apart and do it separately. So I'm going to create all those same parameters. And this is where I'm going to try and get the same I'm going to type in the same values as my box, unless in my case my box is square, so I'm going to actually change the length temporarily so I have different numbers in there. So this is from left to right, and I'm going to move as fast as I can through this. And then my length GTH is, I don't know, I'm going to do 20 for this one. And then this is from F to B, front to back. Except my typing is atrocious right now. I'm trying to move too fast. When you move fast, you end up going slower because you make mistakes a lot. So, and then height is the top to bottom. And I'm going to make this one 3. I think 3 will work. So 2.5 centimeters is 1 inch, so it's like this much. So 3 is a little bit more than 1 inch. I think that might look nice, but we can always change it later. And then this is the from top to bottom. I'm going to do BOT for bottom so I don't get it mixed up with back. And then the last one I'm going to do is thickness. And I want that to be 0.275, and then material thickness. Oh wait, that was right. There was thickness. Okay, awesome. Click OK. And now let's construct. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to build the top panel of the lid. So I'm going to do a construction plane. I'm going to do an offset plane. And I'm going to click here. I'm going to bring this up the height of my box. So height up, and then click enter. That's the plane I want to do the first sketch on. So I'm going to do here, click down. Now I'm looking down from above in the lid. So I'm going to make a rectangle. And I want that rectangle to have the dimensions of length going up, which is back into this thing. And then the other one, tab, is width. Enter. I'm going to zoom out so I can see it. And then I'm going to extrude it. And my extrusion is going to be the thickness of the material. And I want this to actually go down into the lid because I don't want my height to be taller. So I don't want to go up, I'm going to go down. So here I'm going to do negative thickness. Okay, so you can see that now my top is where it's supposed to be. Everything looks great. I'm going to click OK. All right. I just wanted to check something real quick. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude down my sides. There's 2 ways of doing this. I'm going to do it differently than we did last time just to show you that other way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click create a sketch on this front edge of the board right there. There's where my sketch is starting, and I'm going to grab it at this angle. I'm going to go over and I'm going to say that this should be the height of the lid, so height there, and then here is width. Yep, it fit perfectly. I'm going to hit enter, and then I'm going to extrude this. I'm going to click here and here. I need both of those. This is one of the reasons I didn't like doing this the first time, because we want to be able to have that wood inside the wood. And I'm going to extrude this way, which is going to be negative thickness. Enter. And then I'm going to say, instead of cut, I want to create a new body. And I'm going to say, okay. So now I've got a piece of wood. They're both in this little space here, which is good because it's how I'm going to cut the joints. I'm going to cut pieces of them away, so that's going to be perfect. And now I'm just going to do it on the other side now. I'm going to come, rotate around. There it is. That's the edge I want right there. I'm going to click create sketch, create on that little edge right there, and then put my rectangle in. So notice the other reason it's kind of confusing is now it's kind of hard to see where things are. But that bottom gray part is the other side. So I'm going to click there, and I'm going to call this thickness. Remember, I've got to put the words in. I can't just drag it, because when I drag it, it won't update when I change something. And this is width. Even if it starts out the right way, it won't update when we go to make a different height. So if you make another box, you'll be in trouble. And then that was not true. This is not thickness. This is supposed to be height. I screwed that up because I'm doing it from the side now. So I'm going to say height and put enter. So all I do is just double click on it and fix it. And then I'm going to extrude this out. And I'm going to extrude it and this one. And I want it to go into the box. So I'm going to go negative. And this is where I'm using thickness. And you can do new body and then click OK. Same thing now, but I'm going to do it from the side, the left side here. I'm going to click create a sketch, the edge of my top. I'm going to grab this rectangle tool and I'm going to say this side should be height. Yes. And this side should be length. Yes. Enter. And then I'm going to extrude it. But I'm going to extrude this and that. Make sure I get them both. And I'm going to extrude it in again. I don't want to extrude it out. I want them overlapping. So I'm going to go in this way. So I need this to be negative thickness. Enter. And then I want to do a new body. And click OK. And then one last time on this side. Boom. And sketch on that little edge right there. And then top corner, and this is a height, and this is length. Enter, extrude that, and that little thing, and I want to go in, so I'm going to go negative, whoop, I'm going to go negative thickness. In, and instead of cut, I'm going to say new body, and click OK. Quickly, I'm going to come over here to my bodies menus, and I'm going to name these. So this looks like top. Notice my view here is in the front, so this is the front and not the back. Be sure you check that, excuse me. That is the back. And then the next one looks like the left side. And this one looks like the right side. All right. So now I have all my parts in, so that's great. So what I'm going to do now is cut the joints, but you can see this is a lid that will fit right on a 15 by 20 box. It'll line up perfectly. All right, so to cut the joints, I'm going to start with the top one first and then work my way to the sides. Doesn't matter how you do it as long as you're careful about it. So I'm going to click to the top view so I can see that. I'm going to remove all the other sides but the top one, so all those lines aren't messing me up and making it hard to see stuff. I'm going to come up here and do a create sketch. Create a sketch here. And it doesn't matter which way you start. I'm going to start here on this bottom edge. And I'm just going to draw a rectangle. And I'm going to make that just like before. I'm going to make it thickness on this side. And on this side, I'm going to do that 5 tabs again so it matches the bottom of the box. So if you did a different number of tabs on yours, use whatever you used. So here I'm going to say width. Divided by, and remember the width has to be divided by 10 when we're assigning the size of it. I'm going to center this. Everything's the same as before, so I'm going to click on the little line of the rectangle and the side. That just centered it. Yep, there's my little triangle symbol telling me that it's been centered. Now I need to do a rectangular pattern. Whoops, nope, rectangular pattern, and I'm going to zoom in here. And I'm going to select all 3 of these. And because the blue arrow is the direction I want to go, I know I'm using these first 3. I'm going to do a 5 pattern. Make sure this doesn't say extent. Make sure it says spacing. And then the distance is going to be the width. And this time divided by 5 instead of 10. And then I have to do it in symmetrical. And then I'm going to zoom out and just make sure it looks good. Yeah, that looks great. There's a little half tabs there at the end, and then click OK. Now for the lid, I don't want the lid to have wood here. I want this to be cut away and this to be wood. So I want the opposite of what I have. So to get that, the easiest thing to do is just to draw a line right across the top of those. So I'm just going to grab a line. I'm not going to draw it right across the top now. I'm going to put it there intentionally. So notice the line is blue, which means its position isn't set all the way. So I'm going to click on the dimensioning tool, D, and I'm going to click on the top line and the edge, and out here I'm going to say that should be thickness. And that's going to get it, enter again, and that's going to get it right on those. Now I can just mirror all these lines to the other side, or I can just repeat the process. Whatever you think is going to be a faster thing for you to do, you can do either way. So for me, I'm going to set a construction tool. I'm going to find the middle here. There it is. And I'm going to come across and put a line. It's trying to draw another line for me, so I'm going to hit escape to end. And I know I'm going to need I'm going to wait on that actually. Oops, don't want that. Turn off the construction lines, and now I'm going to go to the mirror tool. I'm going to zoom in on this side, and I just need to mirror these little vertical lines, and then that one main line going across. So that means I'm going to have 2 little lines per tab and then the one big line. So that should be 2 times 5 tabs is 10, plus this last one at the end, the big long one across, is 11. I have 11 things. I'm going to select my mirror line. And once I do that, it'll instantly draw them up there. Oh, that doesn't. Oh, see, notice I grabbed the point and not the line down here. So I'm going to need to go back down and change that. I'm going to click up here for object selected. There's the pesky point that I select. You can see the glowing point. I'm going to unclick that, so now I have 10 things selected, and then click the line instead. That's me trying to move too fast. When I look up here, yep, now it's in there just right. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to go ahead and extrude this. I want to get rid of this corner. And then I'm going to get rid of this one, whoops, this one, and that one. And then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to get rid of the corner. Because again, I think it looks better if the inlaid piece for the top and the bottom of the bottom of the box and the top of the lid have cutaway corners. And then I'm going to just rotate it. I'm going to pull it way past. And then I'm going to come here and just say, nope, just do all the way through cut, and then click OK. And now I've cut that edge. Let's cut the other edge. So again, I'm going to hit a sketch. I'm going to click here. I'm just going to repeat the exact same process, except instead of using width, I'm going to use length on this side. All right, so I'm going to draw a rectangle here. And yep, so that's going to be thickness there. And here it's going to be length divided by 10, twice the number of tabs I want, and I want 5 tabs. I'm going to click on that little line, that big line, that centers it. And then I'm actually going to clean this up a little bit because I know it's going to get in the way in a second. I'm going to drag that down there, and then I'm going to create a rectangular pattern. I'm going to need to draw that line again. So actually when I do this pattern, I'm going to make my life easier and just use the things I need. I just need that, and I just need that. And now the direction I want is not blue, so I'm going to need to come down here to the second set and say, I want 5 of those, and I want them spacing here, not extent, and I want their spacing to be length, enter, divided by 5, enter, oh, I just did it wrong. I've got to Control Z it. I pushed too many enters, so do it over again. So frustrating. Rectangular pattern, I want that one. And I want that one. Again, it's white, so I know I'm in the bottom set, so I want 5 sets of them. It says spacing here, and here I'm going to do length divided by 5 instead of 10 this time, and I'm going to do symmetric in both directions. I'm going to zoom back out just to make sure. You can see all those little lines there. And I'm going to say, okay. So it drew the lines for me, and now I just need the overall line. So I'm going to grab this one. I'm not going to go to a corner like this, otherwise it's going to lock it to that corner. I don't want that. I'm going to zoom in so I can be not on that corner. I'm going to be like there. Doesn't matter where, as long as you're not on that corner. And let's see. Ooh, I'm going to zoom back out. And I'm looking for that little right triangle thing. I'm going to zoom back until I see it. There it is. There it is. You see it? A little box there. I'm going to click on that. And now I'm going to dimension this line from here to here, and that should be the thickness of material. Enter, and it just moved it. Now I need to find the center of my box. To do that, I'm going to draw a construction line straight down. So everything's good. Notice it's orange. I'm going to hit escape to get out of that next tool. It's orange because it doesn't know where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to just hit dimension tool. I'm going to click here and this far edge, and I'm going to say that this should be halfway. So width divided by 2. That puts it right in the halfway point, so that's where my mirror should be. So now I just need to go mirror these. So I'm going to hit the mirror tool. I'm going to zoom in. I need this, this, this. Again, I'll have 11 of these lines, 2 for each rectangle, and then the overall long line. Everything is perfect. I'll click on that one, and I'll have 11 things. Yay! My mirror line, I gotta zoom back out so I can see it. There it is, right there, and now it's drawn, and I'll click OK. And then finish sketch. I'm gonna zoom out. I'm gonna extrude this. Again, I want to get rid of these outside corner bits, and then every other one. I'm going to rotate it so I can see which way it's extruding. I'm going to drag it down. Then I'm going to say just do the all the way through, and then click OK. Now my top lid is cut. I'm going to turn on the front, back, left, and right. And in the next video, I'll show you how we're going to go through cutting the edges using the combine tool. You've done it before, so feel free to fast forward, or when you start that video, just kind of go to where you need to, kind of a thing.